Hi, we're going to talk today about back pain. I know a lot of people complain about low back pain especially. It doesn't matter what age you are, but it's very common because we've probably at some point from early childhood all the way up into adulthood, we've had some type of injury, strain, or sprain on the back, or even if you've been in some type of accident, whether it was a bike accident or car, or just being active in sports. So I'm going to show you a couple of different poses that you can practice at home or at the office to help with low back pain. And these are great to do a couple times a day if you can, to really help relieve the muscle, strengthen the spine. While you're doing these poses, you're also going to be flexing, extending the shoulders, the deltoids, as well as the hamstrings and the core. So you're going to be really developing all of the body while at the same time benefiting the low back. So a popular one you may be familiar with is the cat-cow. So we're going to begin on all fours with our knees under our hip points and our wrists under our shoulders. And as always, try to keep your weight in your fingers and up in the meaty part between your thumb and your first finger, so you're not putting a lot of weight on your wrists. And try to balance out that the weight evenly distributed there. So we're going to start by gently lowering the belly towards the mat as we root down through our hands with your head up. We're going to inhale and then exhale. We're going to round it out to cat pose and rounding it through the shoulders, feeling a nice stretch in the neck as well. Exhale, so then we're going to inhale back up to our cow pose. And then exhale down to cat. Rounding the shoulders and keeping weight evenly distributed. You're going to usually do anywhere between 4 to 6 of the cycles of the cat-cow. Again, really paying attention to your muscles and your posture and your alignment. Now the next popular pose that you're probably familiar with is the downward facing dog. So from here, all you gotta do is curl your toes under and lift with your legs into lifting your hips up towards the sky. And again, trying to keep your weight on your fingers, melting your heart towards your thighs. And you can pedal out your dog here if you'd like, if your heels don't reach all the way down to the mat. But you can also do some little wiggles here, kind of shifting the hips, kind of flexing them hip points as well. But this is a great stretch for the hamstrings as well as the shoulders, and you're protecting your low back. Our next pose is going to be our extended triangle, and feel free to use blocks here. We always want to be safety conscious. Whether you're at home or at work, you can use books or pillows, whatever you have on hand that's firm. And don't worry about, what everyone else looks like or having the perfect pose, because every body is different and some days are better than others. And our left side may be more tight or constrained than our right side. So in our extended triangle pose, again, you can use 1 or 2 blocks, however you want to help balance and support your body. And we're going to take a nice wide stance, a little wider than your shoulders, your feet firmly planted on your mat. And then gently doing a little pivot with the left foot or your right foot pointing in one direction, and then slowly doing a nice little stretch to the side here. And it's okay to have a little bend in the knee if you need that, and feeling the weight on the outside of the back foot as well. And reaching the arm up and overhead, really stretching. I'm going to pick up my blocks here. There, and reaching towards the sky. Like I said, and this is really going to help with your pecs, your deltoids, opening up the shoulders, opening the heart as well. And remember, safety first, and not doing anything that's really going to hurt any place in the body, especially the back. So you can certainly do whatever you do on one side, you always want to do on the other side. So bring our block down, up and over, stretch. And then always try to take several slow, deep belly breaths or diaphragm. And I love doing the reverse triangle too when I'm in other poses. So the extended triangle is a great one to work with, and don't worry about not reaching the floor. The next one is called Sphinx pose, and our Sphinx is laying on the floor on their mats. Our feet and legs together, and we're going to come like this, and this is going to be great for engaging your muscles, your back, your buttocks, and your thighs. So you want to gently lift our torso up and your head without hurting. Now you may feel a little tension in your low back, and that's perfectly fine as long as you're not overextending yourself or hurting too much. And you can curl up either high or keep it low. Keep it like this. And just give nice gentle stretch to the neck, because don't forget our neck is part of our spine, and we want to stretch that accordingly, both flexion and extension, for keeping that firm and in shape as well, for toning the muscles and keeping that engaged. You want to try to hold this pose as you try it, maybe a couple of minutes the first time, but if you can sit here for 5 minutes, that's even better. And our next pose is our cobra, and this is the one where we're going to put our hands below our shoulders, keeping our elbows in, and then just gently lifting, because this one's also, you're activating the core, your hamstrings, your glutes, triceps, deltoids, and keeping the neck in line with the spine. Reaching that crown out. Again, you can do little baby cobras where you don't use a lot of pressure on the hands either, or you can do upper cobra, and then of course there's with the legs extended. And actually sometimes this feels better than just keeping them all the way straight. So, and our next pose, which is good for working the muscles of the back, is our locust pose. And again, we're using our core here. We're really going to activate our triceps, our glutes, and our traps as well. We're going to start like this in a nice reclined supine position, and then stretching the arms and shoulders back, at the same time lifting the heels and the legs together, and then lowering it. Now you will feel some tension in your low back at first, and that's okay. Just do small movements as you are able, and then repeating this pose and trying to hold it for up to 1 minute. Now, one of my favorite poses is the bridge pose, and this one is great because it's also good for relieving stress, and you're working a variety of muscles here too. You're going to lie on your back with your feet up towards your sits bones, arms down at your sides, maybe curling those shoulders back a little bit into angel wings, and you're going to slowly, as you inhale, lift the hip points up towards the ceiling or towards the sky with your chin down, and coming into bridge pose. And if you'd like, you can always take your hands and interlace your fingers together and try to hold this for up to 1 minute as well, or 10, 15, 30 seconds, slowly with control, lowering back down, and then maybe repeating that 1 or 2 more times. But this is a great one, great pose for low back, and also relieving tension or stress. And then you can do the counter position this way with pulling the knees up towards the chest. Also, child's pose is great because you're really lengthening the spine as well. This is a great relaxing pose, especially right before bed if you've been working all day And whether you're indoors in a computer or if you're outside in your garden. Oh, one of my other favorite poses is called the half Lord of the Fishes. Seated kind of cross-legged here. We're going to lift one leg in front, placing the foot on the floor as best as you can, whatever's comfortable, with the other leg behind you, and then keeping it activated. And then we're going to rotate, do a nice gentle twist as we inhale, straight spine, crown over heart, over the hips, and we're going to bring the opposite elbow across in front of or around the standing leg. And with a gentle twist, use the other arm, maybe just for a little bit of balance, and looking over that shoulder. Sitting up nice and tall. And it's a great way to also give a nice gentle twist in spine. It's great for the digestive system, great for stretching the spine, and also the shoulders as well. But try to keep those shoulders down. And then again, whatever you do to one side, if you want to switch legs and do to the other, keeping this foot straight, nice and flat, this one flat on the ground if you're able to, and then opposite elbow to opposite knee. And this is half Lord of the Fishes. One of my favorites because it involves a lot of twist and stretching, toning as well. You're using your core. And the next one is a 2-knee spinal twist. And I do this one almost at the end of every practice before I go into Shavasana. But you want to take, lying on your back, we're going to take both legs up to the knee. And we're going to gently twist to one side. Coming up on your hip, and you can extend the other arm out as whatever's comfortable, preferably at a 90 degree or 45, but depending on your back, you can certainly keep it a little closer to yourself, and if you're able, go ahead and look over that shoulder. And this is a great pose to help lengthen, stretch, but also calming the nerves, calming the back as we breathe. And then again, you always want to do the other side, so bringing them in, and then gently stretching to the other side. And giving yourself a nice gentle twist here, working the muscles in the low back. Okay. And then of course our final pose, everyone's favorite I think, is child's pose. And there are a few ways you can do this. One is with your knees together, sitting on your hips. You can bring your arms out in front of you for extended child's pose, like so. And bringing your forehead to the mat if you are able. Or some people like to make a little pillow out of their hands where they can rest their head like this. But it's always great to put your forehead on the mat and kind of roll it gently back and forth. You can also put your hands behind you. As you breathe, relax your shoulders and let your hips fall heavy, and put that tailbone towards the mat. Or you can also do a little bit wider angle with your knees wide apart. And then again, either extended arms out, parallel. Again, relaxing the shoulders back with the tailbone towards the mat, or you can make a pillow with your arms. So yogi's choice, whatever is the most comfortable for you. So these are some great poses to help with low back pain, but also great for restorative and getting lots of good stretches and toning in, as well as we mentioned, the shoulders, your glutes, your quads. Great way to help strengthen the low back and other muscles in the body. Thank you for watching. I hope this has been helpful, and I'll see you in future videos.